Washington State Economic and Revenue Forecast Council recently released a new revenue forecast for the state. What did it say, and how does it impact the budget process?
Well, it has good news and bad news, but right now, with the way we look at it, we're $59 million ahead. But if we take a look at the next biennium, we're $20 million short. Looking at the next biennium, the amount of revenues we're going to be bringing in, we're going to have $2 billion more than we did in this last biennium. Does that create any idea that we need to raise taxes? I think we have too much government. With having $2 billion come in, we can fund education and all of our other programs without raising taxes, just knowing that we've got $2 billion more coming in this next biennium.
House Republicans recently released a separate K-12 education budget called Fund Education First. What are some of the highlights of that budget?
Some of the highlights of that budget are we're going to be able to decrease the K-12 size classrooms. We're also going to be able to increase the amount of hours taught to the upper grades. And we're also going to be able to fund education first, which is so important. We currently have 3 budgets. All 3 of those budgets have various pieces of education elements within them. By creating a 4th budget called Education, Fund Education First, we'll be able to pull out those elements out of those other 3 budgets, and we'll know how we're funding education first. And that's why I voted for education first and have ever since I've been here.
With Fund Education First, you're also seeking improvements in education, reform, accountability with flexibility. Talk about that.
The education reforms that we're seeking are to have dropout intervention and prevention and trying to keep our young people in school so they can graduate and get a high school degree. The other thing that we're looking at is also implementing reforms so that we can help our 10 lowest performing schools throughout the state of Washington. These schools are persistently low. We need to get them up to the standards, and that is also part of the education reform. But when we take a look at funding education first, we're not just going to be putting money into education funds, but what we're looking for is accountability, how the monies are going to be spent, but we're also going to be looking at how can we also be flexible enough to make sure that those monies are spent in the right areas at the right time without Olympia micromanaging the whole process. And I'm looking forward to having these reforms and funding education first.